Hello, everyone, and welcome to Swindler's Den. And today's start to a new campaign, a new adventure, a new series. This is Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Before we get started, we gotta say a few things, though. So first off, if you're new here, be sure to follow because we do shows on here all the time. We're in a transition period with a lot of new shows coming in, old shows going out. We do still have a Morris every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we have now Icewind Dale, which will be on Wednesdays at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we are waiting for the talkback episode of the Dragon of Icefire Peak, which will be on a Sunday. We just have to decide what Sunday, so be sure to stay tuned. Twitter, Discord, all the social medias, Swindler's Den, to make sure you're caught up on that. Otherwise, I want to give a quick little disclaimer before we get into this. This is a survival and horror setting, so things are gonna get creepy. They're gonna make you uneasy. Things will be stressful. They will be visceral. So it's a warning to your viewers. We did a session 0 where we talked over everything we were comfortable with doing and allowing within the game, because I want to make sure all my players here are having fun while still pushing them to the brink of being scared. Which that's part of the draw of this game. You want to be scared, so I'm allowing them to be safe, but also to relinquish themselves to being involved within these horror elements, so that they have fun with that. But unfortunately, I can't ask every single viewer what they aren't okay with. So this is to your discretion. This is your warning. If it's not for you, we do have other shows, like I said. So Morris is coming up, all that fun stuff. So we'll see you there if this isn't quite your cup of tea. We hope you can stick around, but we understand if you can't. Other than that, I want to introduce all my players here because we have 5 players in this campaign, and we want to get to know all of them over the course of this. Let's go down the line. We'll start with Grizlocke.
Hello.
Just not your character, just yourself.
Okay, I am Grizlocke, and I am myself. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch under the same names. And I like pizza.
He likes pizza. So next we have Bumbleskum.
Hey, it's me, your boy Bumbleskum. I'm a DM and player. You can always find me on the Twitter at Bumbleskum, or at my stuff at IDL_RPGS, which is also Twitter.
Next we have Dyto.
Hello, I'm Dyto. You can find me here on Mondays, where I play in a Morris, and then on Saturdays I play on another channel called Party Wipe Games. We're starting a homebrew next week.
Started homebrew next week. We have TommieTaco.
Hey, I'm TommieTaco. Fun fact there, Grizz, I also like pizza.
Oh, no way. No way, dude.
It's crazy. It was meant to be. As far as where you can find me, pretty much here on the Swindler's Den channel is pretty much where I do anything. And I just got done running Dragon of Icefire Peak, and I'm so happy to be able to be a player again. I'm really excited to see how rusty I am at playing.
Oh, don't worry. I'll hold your hand for one session, then after that, you're on your own. You gotta figure it out, and I'll punish you if you don't do anything right. Last but not least, Dr. Phage.
That's aggressive.
Hello! I'm Dr. Phage. This is the only game I'm in on Swindler's Den on Twitch in general, and you can find me on Twitter at Little Grow.
Yeah. Also, before we start, huge shout out. I want to give a shout out to Grizlocke. I don't think he gets enough shouts out for all the work he puts into all these campaigns. He made the layout, the starting soon screen, all this stuff, and runs the stream while playing at the same time. So I want to thank him for all he does for the channel.
Oh, I don't.
And to facilitate us.
I have a gnome slave that does that stuff.
Oh, right. Sorry. The gnome slave is who I am thanking currently.
I mean,
Speaking of gnome
employee.
slaves.
I'll give a huge shout out to Grizz's gnome.
You pay him in cookies.
Let's get right into it, shall we? Icewind Dale was known for its long, cold winters, but those gave way to a summer of green forests and warm fields. That is up until 2 years ago. Since then, Icewind Dale has been trapped in a perpetual winter. Ferocious blizzards make the mountain pass through the spine of the world exceedingly treacherous, and this land has not felt the warmth of the sun in that time. In fact, the sun no longer appears above the mountains, not even in what should be the height of summer. In this frozen tundra, darkness and bitter cold reign as king and queen. Most Dale residents blame Ariel, the Frostmaiden, the god of winter's wrath. The shimmering aurora that weaves across the sky each night is said to be her doing, a potent spell that keeps the sun at bay. Dale folk live in the scattering of settlements known as 10 towns. The drop-off in caravans coming from the south and travel between settlements in this never-ending winter has left everyone feeling isolated. Although each town has resolved to appease the Frostmaiden with sacrifices of one kind or another, no respite from the winter's fury seems forthcoming. It is within the 10 towns, in the town of Bremen, where we start our adventure. Through the snow-swept streets, blistering cold, walks a figure wearing warm winter clothing, a jacket, hood pulled up, furs covering his face as not to let any of the wind pass through to his fragile skin. We see this figure walking towards a tavern. He looks around to see within the village square 5 taverns, each of them circling around to create this city center. He looks to see as one of them, called the Grumpy Moose, stands there with its sign swinging in the wind, creaking. He starts to walk towards the door and pushes it open, and inside he is greeted with not a very hospitable atmosphere. Even outside, there was nobody walking around. Unlike most towns you find yourself in, even the smaller ones, there's at least 1 or 2 people walking the streets. But here in the Icewind Dale, there are very few and far in between walking outside. We see this figure pull down his hood. And Bumble, would you like to introduce your character for us, please?
Hello. My name is Heinlein Swornsword. I am standing about 5'10", 5'11". I've got a dark reddish, brownish hair. My face covered with unkempt beard from a long journey. I have armor and a shield with me, and a sheathed sword. On the shield and on the armor is the symbol of a hawk with a rose in the center of its chest. I wear mostly browns for furs and stuff like that. I'm a polite man, and I'm here for a reason.
He is here for a reason. As you look around this tavern, Heinlein, you see there at one table there's 2 humans looking very disheveled, drinking, as you would find most patrons in a tavern to be doing. You also see a table with 4 other people at it. You recognize the shape of these people. I don't know how much of their faces you saw earlier with your travels here, but you also see a figure over in the corner sitting at a table. She seems to be a dwarf, shorter in stature but stout, and there is 2 ales sitting on the table, and she seems to be staring at you, smoking her pipe.
Well, it seems as though she seems to take an interest in me. I suppose the most polite thing I can do is go and give her a howdy.
So you walk over, and as you do, she gestures to the chair across the table from her. Go
Hello.
ahead, sit down. I think you're the one I've been waiting for, right?
Well, I'm also here looking for... Perhaps it's you. What can you tell me about what you're looking for?
Well, they told me there was a man who wasn't afraid of death, and I have a job for somebody who isn't afraid of that.
Well, it seems as though we both found each other pretty well then.
Yes,
What is this? I've been looking for this job. What is it? How may I help?
I don't know if you've heard, but there's been murders within the Dale within the last month. It's not that we already have to deal with an everlasting winter, now we have a murderer to deal with.
Well, that seems like one problem too many already, so Yeah, I don't know nothing about, what the murder rates are up here. But I can imagine you guys don't want to lose any more. I suppose it's a job I could easily do. I hope.
Well, hope too. The law enforcement doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. The town speakers aren't doing anything about it either. They're not getting on their duties. I guess too much to worry about outside of it. But they've killed 3, and we can only assume more.
I take off some winter gloves and set them down neatly next to the ale, and then I start drinking it. And I set it down. What all can you tell me about the locations of these murders?
Well,
Were they somewhat of importance, or was it just random civilians?
In the last 3 months, or 1 month, sorry, there's been 3 murders. There was a halfling trapper over in East Haven. Was the first one about a month ago. About 2 weeks, there was a human shipbuilder over in Targos, just the next town over, and the most recent was a dwarven glassblower from Bryn Shander.
So this here murderer, if it's just one murderer, I suppose having him pop up like this isn't much of a coincidence. If this is not a thing that quite happens for y'all.
It doesn't seem to be a coincidence from what I can tell. These 3 murders happened in the 3 biggest towns of 10 towns. Just so happens it's also the 3 towns that sacrifice humans to Ariel. I have a sneaking suspicion that these murders have something to do with that as well.
So, now, excuse me while if I seem a little ignorant, I'm not quite from around these parts. I'm wondering, these murders aren't just sacrifices?
No. So the sacrifices themselves are left out in the cold tundras of the Dale to be taken by the Ice Maiden herself, but my running theory is these 3 were put up for the lottery to be the sacrifice, and then they somehow got out of it, and this murderer caught wind and took care of the Ice Maiden's deeds in his own way.
I see. Now, and excuse me if I'm being rude, just as a politeness, my name is Mr. Swornsword, but I prefer it if you just called me Heinlein. And I don't quite I don't believe I quite got your name.
No, I haven't given it quite yet. It's Hiln Trollbane. I was once quite the adventurer like yourself, but now in my old age I can't go hunting down murderers and monsters like I used to.
Well, I hope as an adventurer you were quite better than I was. And am. Alright, now, here's a question I might have. Now, like I said, I'm not quite from these areas. You wouldn't just so happen to have an idea as to... Now, this is only the second town I've really been in. And I'm just curious where I might find... Is there a caravan that might go to each of these places, or do you think there's a next stop?
I have my suspicions about... There's a traveling merchant group. Goes by the name of Torgs. The traveling merchant Torgs. They have a bodyguard that goes with them. Cephik Keltro is his name. There's something strange about him. He's not like you and me. He doesn't have to wear these heavy winter clothes when he's walking around outside. He's always got these shoulder sleeve shirts on, or even rolled up longer sleeve shirts, and doesn't wear any face coverings at all. Which leads me to believe he's in works with the Frostmaiden.
Well, you'd have to be some kind of stupid to really go around these parts not wearing any kind of furs. It's the worst weather I've seen, and I guess it's the worst winters I've seen also. And where'd you say you think they might? Do you have any idea where they might be heading next?
I don't know where they're heading next. The sacrifices happen at the new moon, which won't be for another week or so. So
So
at least have a week till he has another target if they continue to opt out of the lottery somehow.
So it's always someone who was likely to be the one sacrificed.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then the murder happened the night of, just to stop them.
Not the day of. I don't think he was able to get there in time or find out in time. I think it's just when he's able to make it there, because he's still trying to lay under the guise of the Merchant Guild. I don't think he's just pushing them, because he's just the bodyguard. He doesn't run the thing. So I think he has to wait until they get there.
Hopefully trying to get there. And when the lottery happens, how long do the towns, and again, excuse me for my ignorance, do these towns have like a waiting period between the sacrificing, or between the lottery and the sacrifice?
The lottery happens the day of the new moon every time.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they draw somebody, they strip them down and send them out in the tundra.
So, I'm a little confused. The way, so this person, they get brought up in this lottery, and then somehow they get out of it, and someone else is sacrificed.
Right. Whether it's through bribes or other means, they've somehow found their way out of it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's not.
I understand.
It's not an accepted practice in the Dale, but people find their way out of it if they can.
All right. I mean, I can understand a little bit of self-preservation. And, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, all right. I think, so the new moon is when we've got, so hopefully we have a week to maybe even 2 weeks, but a week on the safe side to try and find this next target. Does Bremen have a human sacrifice?
No, we don't have a human sacrifice here in Bremen.
All right.
We sacrifice warmth here. So the night of the new moon, nobody is allowed to have any kind of fires or magical means of warmth within the town. Everything is as cold as the wind outside. You have to rely on your own muster to make it through the night.
Okay. Brutal world y'all live in. I thought my place. Well, I suppose it's just different struggles, different people, different struggles. So pardon me again. It was East Haven, Targos, and what was that third city?
Bryn Shander.
Bryn Shander. That's the city that's just to the west, right? The large one.
Just the largest one in the middle of the 10 towns.
Okay,
yes.
I've been there. That's the only other place. I just came from there. Okay, that makes sense. Glad I'm not. Glad at least I haven't. I'm somewhere at least where there's at least a fighting chance. I suppose. Yeah. Do you stay here?
No, I have my own house here, but there is an inn in town. The Hidden Treasures Inn is just down the way, just on the street.
Right.
But speaking of fighting chance, this guy he seems armed to the teeth and able to fight, so I don't know if you're gonna need help with this. I don't know your capabilities, but never a bad idea to have people to travel with when you're in the Dale anyway.
Well, I'm not so sure. I feel comfortable having people confront this man with me. I think it's probably best if it's, me and him, and we settle the score. But I do believe I'm not quite familiar with this area at all, and I think I'd need some kind of guide or something to get me to and from, I suppose. I need someone to help me travel. I've bought myself the most wooliest of axe beaks I've ever seen. But I suppose I don't think that's going to be enough for me. I don't quite know my way around, and I might need a little help.
Well, that table over there seems to be people that aren't in this town often. I think they just blew in today. I don't know if you want to ask them or not. Up to you, really.
I pull up. I take a sip again, a slow drink as I turn and I look over at the table, and I see the lot of them sitting there. That, they look a little familiar. The big one especially. It's hard to forget something like that. I think I traveled with them into town, actually.
Familiar faces aren't bad to have around.
At least I know that they can travel well. None of them really made a scene or a ruckus that I remember, so it seems like maybe it might be a good company.
Alright, well, if you are able to take this man down, preferably without involving the law, and come back here, there's 100 gold pieces with your name on it.
Do you need proof, or back in where I'm from, generally you would bring the ears.
That sounds perfectly fine with me.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Healing Trollbane. It was a pleasure to meet you. I'm happy for the opportunity. And
Pleasure to have somebody with a little bit of manners around for once.
I start putting on my gloves. I take the drink with me. I'll put down a silver. If nothing else, it helps the tip. I don't really know the prices around here for drinks and stuff, so it's the least I could do. And I push in my chair, and then I slowly walk towards. You hear the clank of my sword and my armor, clank, 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 as I walk over towards the table.
Before we interact with them, let's do let's do some intros to the other kids. Let's start with Dr. Phage, if you want to introduce how your character.
Hello, I am Axel. I am at a petite 8'5". It is not very tall. I do not make a scene at all. I am a large Goliath. I have very pale skin with dark black to blue markings that kind of start at my hairline and go back. My hair is all white. Currently, I have a very large cup. I have a special cup here. I come here often enough. The little ones, I break them. My hands are too big. Cup full of wine, and my cheeks are all red and rosy from the wine already.
Yeah, and let's actually rewind a little bit before you got to Bremen, back to Thermalane, where you're from. We go down into the mines where you are working. You're currently in this enormous cavern. Mines are not scarce here. The walls are absolutely covered in them. The whole wall shines with gems in the walls. And you are digging away at one of them as one of your higher-ups comes over to you. Oh, it's just a disheveled human male, just greasy hair. The cave is cold, but it is actually a little bit warmer than it is outside. You don't have the wind chill, and it's also a steady temperature within caves because they kind of hold the average temperature of the environment around them. So he comes over to you and, Axel, you're doing a great job here, but we're gonna need you to head over to Bremen again. Wages are getting low, and you know how times are.
Okay. What are we trying? Obviously, gems. Do we have anything special this time around?
haven't found anything I mean, we're gonna be hard pressed to even sell anything over there. I'm just hoping you can get something from them, but
Okay. I mean, I can pack up. No promises, though. It's hard times out there. Like, we were lucky we got anything last time.
I mean, stop in Targos too, see if you can get anything. But
Yes.
just do the best you can, I suppose. Yeah. And we cut back to where you are now. Sitting at the table with somebody else who came here to try and sell some wares. Dyto, would you like to introduce your character?
Yeah. Hello, I play Mila. She's a little short, silver tiefling with silver horns and a long white hair in a very, very messy braid. It's kind of hard to braid your hair when your fingers are frozen solid. She wears a lot of purples and blues, so she blends in with the snow and the darkness around her. Very short compared to the Goliath. At a whopping 5'1".
We're also gonna flash back for a second with Mila back to East Haven, as you are in the shop, Asafi's Dangerous Mysteries, Mystical, sorry, where you work in the magic section of this general store. Times have been tough here, and you see your boss is behind the counter. You're kind of organizing things on the shelf. I don't know what we're gonna do, Mila.
Well, we always pull through. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but we just can't stand up to these other magical shops like in Bryn Shander, and they're taking all the business around here. We're gonna have to send you over to Bremen. That's nobody goes over that far.
Well, when Bremen is so small, I mean, we do have one thing that Bryn Shandar don't. At least we don't have them thieves.
It's true. I mean, East Haven's just full of pickpockets as well. I don't know how they live over there, or we are East Haven. What am I talking about? We have thieves everywhere. Pickpockets for fun. But I mean,
but I tend to keep that. I can catch that riffraff before.
That's true. You are good at catching pickpocketers, but yeah, I mean, take DOG and the sled over. Bring the wares that you can. Bring some of the bigger things like the diamonds and other materials, components, but I think they're just going to be buying the smaller stuff again, if anything. And yeah, but while you are over there, there's one other thing I want you to look for while you're traveling. I think it can actually save us quite a bit.
Oh, anything? What's that?
They will pull out a lantern from behind the counter and set it down on it. And a flask of oil. A pint of it. You've heard of Chewinga, right?
Have I heard of Chewingas?
Roll a Arcana check for me.
Oh, I'm actually pretty good at those. A 24?
A 24. Yeah, you know what Chewinga are. I'm actually going to pull up a picture for everybody here. So, you know that Chewinga are very small elementals. They love the snow and the cold, and they're usually covered in some kind of straw outfit, and they'll wear a white mask with paintings on it. They're known to be very whimsical and tricky. They like to pull tricks on people that aren't expecting it, but they're also very magically based, being elementals. This lantern is a lantern of elemental tracking. It'll show you if there's a Chewinga in the area. You just have to light it, and it starts to glow green if there are Chewinga anywhere around. Are you
thinking that they got some over there in Bremen?
Possibly in Bremen, maybe any of the other towns or trails along the way. I will say this flask will only last you 6 hours, so you can't just have it going the whole time, but if you can find one and bring it back here, I might be able to figure something out that can hopefully make us some more money, if anything.
Oh, you know me. I can make friends anywhere. I'm sure a Chewinga's not going to be too much different.
Yes, preferably alive and not incarcerated in any way. From what I've heard, they don't tend to enjoy that.
I'm sure don't nobody enjoy being tied up or locked up.
Very fair. Very fair. All right, I've got the sled already. DOG's ready to go. I'll give you some rations for him, but yeah, just try and sell as much as you can. We need the money.
I will definitely do that. I'm sure I can find other ways to make some money for the shop too. I mean, it's the least I can do. You've been helping me so these last few years.
Very faint smile comes to their face. You are swept back into the tavern, looking into your whatever. What kind of drink would you have gotten?
Probably just a mead.
Just
Probably
mead?
not as, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, maybe you're progressed and maybe some of the others. There's none of the famous good mead, honey mead here. Bremen seems to have not gotten their supply. They said something about good mead is having problems with their being able to make this the honey mead, so they haven't gotten any. So it's just normal mead. I mean, it works, but it's not as good as the honey mead.
That's okay. I'm gonna use prestidigitation to make it taste like the good stuff.
There you go. So, unfortunately, between the two of you, Axel and Mila, actually, both of you roll persuasion checks for me. Let's see how you did with your sales.
Ooh. Oh.
Good start for Axel at a 0 and a 14 for Mila. Unfortunately, we don't do DOIP rules, so that's not a 28. But, so yeah, actually, you sold nothing. Nobody could take anything. You tried selling even the smallest gems, and they just don't have the funds or the needs. Like, nobody's buying any kind of gems right now, especially in Bremen. Mila, you were able to sell some of the smaller things, but again, Bremen just doesn't have a ton of magical users, so they don't really have a need for it right now, and there's less and less people by the day, and less need. So you were able to sell 10 gold worth of material. So if you want to check that off to the side, wherever you want to keep gold to give back to your boss or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's a lot less than they were hoping for. So. Not great, but there are two other people at the table, and we let's get to them next. In my list is Grizlocke with his character.
I'm Olin, a grey-skinned half-orc, yellow eyes, black hair, tied back. He's got a goatee, with charcoal robes, with brown fur lining, and he wears a red scarf around his neck. And
Before we do your flashback, I'm actually going to introduce your compatriot here, TommieTaco. If you want to introduce your character. You are muted, good sir. There we go.
Not muted anymore.
Got him.
I was like, hello, I am Zavros. Come from a place far away, and I just happen to love the cold. Didn't really expect it to stay this way. I could have sworn I read you had summers. I have a slight tan, long black hair, and I normally keep my leathers with my short swords and my bow at my back.
Yeah, and you had recently been, you'd gotten a couple of hints along the way of things that you might be interested in, back in East Haven, as well. You heard rumors that Bremen was having problems with some kind of lake monster. You aren't quite sure what this lake monster is. There isn't really many tales, because a lot of things that encounter it don't really come back from it, and if they do, they didn't get a very good glimpse of it. It's really only been attacking the fishers of Bremen. There are two other towns on I want to get the name right of this place. of Mar Dualdun, which is the name of the lake that Bremen is on. There are 2 other towns, Targos and I got a map behind me, so it's gonna be easy to turn around. Targos and Tourmaline and Lonelywood are also on Mar Dualdun, and they don't seem to have that same problem, at least from what you've heard. But outside of that, there is also somebody sent to you from Lonelywood, on behalf of the speaker there, whose name is Nimsy Huddle, and they sent you because they sent this person to tell you, because you kind of started to get a reputation within 10 towns for being somebody who can deal with problems. Not like you're working your way up to the bigger problems still, but some of the smaller ones you've been able to deal with, and your name's starting to get around. But they have been having problems with a great white beast that has been killing loggers within the Lonely Wood. They've been found gored and rammed into trees, and all attempts to try and take down this beast have failed, with either the death of the hunters or just them being driven out. So
what town is that in?
That is in Lonelywood. Yeah, so we were saying, we're in the flashback, Zavros just got his information on the beast that's been seen in the Lonely Wood. What do you do having this information, Zavros?
I'd probably start asking around the tavern if anyone has heard any stories and about where the events took place.
How much sharp would I have heard about this?
So this is still in East Haven. This is back.
We're still in the flashback.
Yes, you're still in the flashback. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Thought I was like back in the tavern. Fast forward.
Nope. You're still in East Haven.
See, if that's the case, it's like probably go to where my friend Orlin is held up. He probably knows more about the areas than I do, and maybe he knows a thing or two about creatures that live around the frozen lakes in this area.
Yeah, so you head over to Orlin's, as you've done many times before. He's been your wealth of knowledge within Icewind Dale, as well as somebody who can let you know more about some of the creatures within the area and beasts. So Orlin, Zavros is at your door. Go ahead and proceed.
You again? All right, come in.
Oh, cheery as always, Orlin.
So what is it this time?
Shut the door. Well, 2 things, actually. I caught word that there might be something around the, let's see if I wrote this down. Dudlon. It's some lake that's attached to this Bremen town. Seems to be some fishermen seem to be getting killed by something, but no one seems to know what it is. So I was wondering if maybe you had any information on any type of creatures that live around lakes that could pose a huge threat.
Sharp.
Roll me a nature check.
Roar. 18.
18. So you've also kind of heard whispers about this, and it's not very common within Faerun itself to have these kind of creatures around anymore. But from what you've heard different things like it's the size of a large dog to it's the size of a house. You've heard many different things, but from all of your gatherings, it seems to be some kind of reptilian creature with a longer neck and fins. And from your studies, again, not very common in Faerun anymore. They are ancient creatures, but it seems to be a plesiosaurus, which were trapped in lakes long ago, in these ancient times, and because they would go up the rivers when they were much wider, and then as the rivers started to get smaller, they got trapped in these lakes. And there's some very ancient ones that's still around. At least people say. They haven't seen a lot of them, but this is what your theory is running currently, from what you've heard.
Typically, it's a bit of a myth, but could be a plesiosaur.
A plesiosaur? What is that? Do you have any you always have the little drawings in your fancy little books that you have. Mr. Magic Man, do you have any photos of something like that?
He kind of walks over his shelf of books and slowly kind of, one by one, kind of pulls the spines down and, like, read the covers. And, finds one.
Let's see,
Blows
you've got
dust
one.
off of it.
Yeah, you've got an artist rendering in one of your books. That's the wrong monster. Glad I didn't show that to you. Where are you? I know you're in here somewhere, you fools. It's hard because it doesn't show the full name, so I'm like trying to read first names of things. Where the heck are you? Is it here? Oh, smart. I would have just had this ahead of time. Out front. Shoot, dang.
Either way,
Actually,
you said I
you know
have
what?
it, right?
Yes, you do have it.
So I open the book and kind of flick through the pages till I get to the plesiosaur rendering.
I got it here.
See, it's got its long neck and big jaw.
Oh, that thing looks fascinating. It'd probably make for a pretty cool trophy. If you said these things don't. This is a myth, though, right? Like,
It's not there in the fossil records, but it's more a myth that they've survived up here for so long.
it is very damn cold outside. I was under the impression y'all had summers, but you decide to take a hike for a new location and you get stuck there, I suppose.
We once had summers, but not anymore. Closes the book, puts it back on the shelf.
Oh, also, I had one last question. You know anything about a large white creature that probably has a taste for loggers? Seems to be some trouble along Lonelywood.
Sure.
Hey, another nature check, bud.
9.
A 9. You haven't quite heard enough about it yet to know.
Nothing in particular besides there's yetis, maybe, of wolves. Lots of white creatures in the snow. So
Well, it's quite large, but I understand.
not much to go off of, if I'm being honest there.
Well, Olin, and as grumpy as you sound, you've been a good help to me the last few years.
So, when are we going?
I mean, I don't really have a home here, so I'm ready whenever you are, I suppose.
Alright, let me pick more stuff.
Alright, I'll go out and, you had an axe beak, right?
Yes. That's Tauntaun.
Oh, Tauntaun. Alright, I'll go and, I guess I'll get the saddles ready while you get prepared.
Yes, you guys pack up your Tauntaun, or not your Tauntaun, sorry. One is named Tauntaun. Pack up your axe beaks and head out and end up catching up with the caravan that Heinlein, Axel, and Mila also were a part of that made their way over to Bremen. And this is where we cut back to Heinlein is making his way over. Is Heinlein here? I can't see his camera.
Yeah, he's here. I don't know why you can't see his camera.
Yes.
I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I just
That's
want to
funny
make
that
sure.
you can't see my camera and I can see your camera at first.
Yeah, it's switched. But yeah, so Heinlein is making his way over to your table.
See, I told y'all.
A nod to you guys. Pardon me. I believe I saw y'all on the caravan over here.
Yes.
I don't know. If you do much traveling yourself? I'm a bit new to this area. And I kind of glance down at Zavros, and I realize he also looks fairly not from this place, as the only other tanned individual at the table. I'm looking to. I have a few towns I'm trying to, travel to, and I need to find my way around, and I'm not quite experienced in these, in the Dale. I don't know how much you guys know or travel. A few of you on the way over seemed as though traveling was something you did on the regular.
Where are you trying to get to?
I'm not. Yeah, this might sound a bit strange. I'm not too sure yet. I'm looking for a caravan, and I know it's going to be headed in the next week or so to either East Haven, Targos, or Bryn Shander.
Well, me and my buddy here, and Mila too, are all from East Haven, so I'm sure we'll be heading back
Hello.
up that way. But first we have some work to do here.
All right. Now I don't mean to be rude or nothing. My name you can call me Heinlein. I'm curious, and I don't know if any of y'all know this or not, but I'm looking for a traveling merchant caravan. I believe it's Torx, I think is the name of the merchant who runs the caravan.
Is that anybody we know?
Yeah. Are you aware of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, give me a history check. Pretty low DC on this, but just to check.
Oh, nice roll.
Showing up that crit.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody that rolled so far here. I don't know if Zavros
I'm
wanted to
gonna
roll
say I'm not gonna roll just because I probably hung out mostly in one area. So it's
That's
like
very fair. Yeah. So definitely Axel and Mila know, and Orlin has seen them around. I want to get the name right. Torgs is a traveling merchant group who is run by Torga Icewind, who is a dwarven woman. They're one of the bigger traveling merchant groups. Actually, Mila and Axel probably have to compete with them quite a bit, trying to get places to sell things first. And yeah, they're kind of a no-nonsense merchant group that just goes in, gets the job done, and are very well known. So people, they actually, people don't always want to buy from them because they demand such high prices when they're selling to these shops, but they also kind of tend to have things that others don't. So
What are you doing that you need to go after Torga Icewind?
He is not a
what-
very good woman.
Well, I'm sorry. It's nothing big or worse. I just need them to lend me an ear for a short time.
What is Heinlein currently thinking about right now?
Is that a thing that you can just do?
Yep.
yeah, surface thoughts, unless you're trying to probe further.
He has two surface thoughts right now. One is just the general thought of taking a hatchet to someone's ears. And the second one is an unbearable, crushing sense of emptiness.
Well, that is unsettling.
Just looking for them to lend me an ear. Nothing too unsettling about that.
Just one ear? Maybe two?
Both if they're willing to listen, I suppose.
Yeah, and for all future reference of that as well, you only have to tell her like what bare minimum of what
Yeah.
you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, huh? There's a candle over there that's lit.
It could be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know where this Yuga Torga usually hangs out?
She's on the move quite often, so it's never guaranteed where she's gonna be.
Did any of the people that I tried to sell to today mention her being in town recently?
She would have been in town. Let me check. It'd have been about two weeks ago at this point.
Well, when I did some selling earlier, they said they hadn't seen her for about 2 weeks. So she's either on her way here, or she just could still be somewhere else.
How long? I'm sorry for the rudeness. I don't mean to jut in again. I'm just curious. How long would it take to travel between here and any of those 3 towns?
How long did it take?
I believe
got
it's
'em.
like 3 days to East March, isn't it?
Haven.
At East Haven. That sounds
East Haven.
about right, yeah. 'Cause it's a couple hours over to Targos. Yeah, so it'd be like 3 days to East Haven, I'd say, off the top of my head.
Well, East Haven is about 3 days, and that's way far yonder. I mean, I think Bryn Shandar is a little closer.
Yeah, that was because that's where we all just came from. Right? Was that it, or did there was a?
Targos was in between there and
Targos
Bridgeton.
was in
Targos
between.
is where you met
Oh,
up
so
with
Targos
Axel.
was even closest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Targos is the
Okay.
closest.
All right.
Look,
Yeah, and
Um,
Targos is only a few hours away.
Well, that's what that town was. All right. Okay.
You know,
Um,
make a suggestion to you, Heinlein.
Yes.
If
Any
you're
help you can
looking
give?
for wares for cold weather, perhaps not shopping with Torga would be best.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not looking to buy anything. Like I said, I just need them to lend me an ear.
He's looking to chop off some ears.
And I
With an
immediately
axe
snap over to
specifically?
you. And I've got, like, my piercing green eyes. Probably more apparent given the tan complexion and the reddishness of my hair. The green eyes probably, like, are a very vibrant coloring. They just kind of, like, directly into your eyes.
Oh, whose ears are you
Whose-
wanting to be chopping off there?
Who said anything about chopping off ears?
I did just now.
Alright, why would anyone go around be doing that?
I don't know why you'd be thinking it.
You know, the
I
best
felt
way
like
to sever an
set-
ear is to get the blade just right there at the base and just slice.
I set my drink down, not breaking eye contact. Are you telling me that you're going around entering people's minds?
Well, it's
Without
not
their
really something
permission.
that I can turn off. It just happens.
I'm gonna do an insight on that. I'll roll, and then I guess if it's a natural, because I don't know for
Yeah,
sure,
ahead.
obviously.
Oh,
What does he learn on a nat 20, Mila?
Yeah, you know that it's always on. She doesn't know how to turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah, somehow able to read at least some of your thoughts. You're not sure how or why, and yeah, she's not lying about it.
I'm just trying to make sure that she's not, because obviously I'm a little perturbed by someone just, because
Yeah.
you can tell, what you can tell I'm thinking now, Service Thoughts, is wondering just to what degree I'd be willing to collect a few more ears. So,
I mean,
but as soon as you say that you can't turn it off, however, it goes just down to suspicion rather than anger.
If traveled with Neela for a while, and I have found the best way to deal with it. If you don't want her reading what you're thinking there, I think about different kinds of rocks, and I just list different kinds of rocks, and then she looks at me and gets bored, because I'm just like, we got agates, and we got red granite, and we got blue granite, and green granite, and then she gets bored and moves on to someone else.
I usually just look out for things that might want to kill me or chop my ears off. It's kept us alive these years.
Well,
Dude, it's actually been
can I
quite
give
helpful.
just a word to the word from the wise. Someday that might be a reason why you might get killed. And I pick up my drink again, and I drink it, and I turn away from her.
Well, then here's your meat,
stand
by the
up
way.
at
I asked for ale.
Oh, sorry about that. I'll scare back off to the bar.
Now, this one's not from here either. I point to him as he skitters off. With my thumb, I was like, what's his, is he new around here too?
He's on some big hunt quest.
Well, I suppose until I figure out what town. I don't quite have a timeline of when I should be doing this. I'll say I'm looking to do it by the next new moon. That's the preferred date that I find them. But I suppose if I'm running around towns, I don't know for sure if I'm ever going to get to the right one in the right time.
Why are you traveling to these towns then?
'Cause I know that they might show up in one of those three towns.
Oh, right.
Yep, and that's just a place I'm trying to meet them at. Yeah, I suppose I don't really. Oh, what? Sorry, pardon me.
Is the ear chopping off? Yes, it's all right. It's very loud in here. It's hard to tell when people are talking. Was the ear chopping off related to Icewind, or are those two different things?
Sorry, Icewind.
Torga, your merchant.
No. Nothing to do with Torga herself. Business mostly.
Honestly, I don't mind either way. You want to chop her ear off or not?
I mean, if her
Not-
ears are chopped off, it might be better for business for us, Axel.
She's not very nice.
Well, I'm not quite looking to chop her ears off. In fact, I don't know nothing about her. I don't know much of anything around these areas, to be honest. I just got into town not too long ago. By town, I mean the Dale itself. I'm pretty fresh picked. No, I'm looking. I suppose I still. If you all have business in town, I don't know if you're traveling to East Haven. It'd be safer for me to figure out where I'm going if I follow, so I can get on with my business. But I guess if you're not leaving for a while, that means I'm also not leaving for a while.
How are you with swords, spears, the like?
You see that he's got a sword on his hilt, and he bumps it with his elbow.
You have a fish.
I'm pretty decent. Fish.
Hmm.
I used to when I was younger. Didn't really have much time for it as I grew, but.
All right. We'll help you get to East Haven if you help me and my friend here find us a fish.
I'm also looking for a chawanga. Might be in these parts.
Bless you. I don't know what that means. Is that like
It's a little elemental creature.
Oh,
Kind of tricksy.
interesting.
Hmm.
I suppose this would be the place to find it.
Now, what do you want with her? Chwonga.
Oh, my boss is looking for one. One of the things I was sent here for.
Is that a normal thing? Are people just like collect wingos left and right?
Typically, no. A lot of people don't believe they exist, even. So I guess that's up to you guys if you believe they exist or not. But yeah, they're thought to be myths, usually children's stories, little ice elementals.
I brought the book with me. Of myths that I've now established I have. I flip to the page, and I just kind of, put it on the table. It's just there on the table for anybody who doesn't know what they are.
Zavros comes by with the ale and dumps it accidentally on the book. No,
Oh no. I don't know if we can get another one of those for you, Orlin.
It's alright, it'll dry.
Yeah, as you guys are talking amongst yourselves about the various things you've been tasked to do by different people, suddenly the door swings open, letting in a burst of cold wind. It rattles the shutters that have been shut. Almost blows all the pages as you're trying to dry out your book, and then the door slams behind this figure. Another stout, shorter figure. Has the hood up, and all you can see is this large, bulbous nose and this huge, frost-covered beard. And he's you can see he's kind of swaying a little bit, and he pulls the hood down, looks wildly around the room, and then looks right at your table. Just, there you lazy bastards are! He comes stumbling over towards your guys' table.
What is he thinking as he's barreling towards us?
He's thinking, I finally found these people. Why are they sitting here drinking?
Do I recognize this guy?
Yeah.
Roll a history check.
Is that everyone or anyone?
Anybody wants to.
Okay. 24.
Axel,
And
Orlin,
19.
Mila, Zavros. Heinlein, are you trying?
No.
as I turn around with this ale from the bar.
Yeah, none of you know who this is. He comes up and slams his fist on the table. Them damn fish ain't gonna catch themselves. What the hell are you doing sitting around drinking this disgusting ale all damn day? We need you down at the docks right away.
I'm sorry,
Very
sir.
confused.
Do we know you? That's not the right voice. I went Thyra there for a minute.
Do you know me? I'm Grizlocke. I employed you last evening. You get out there and catch them damn trout for me. You agreed to it last night.
I'm sorry, sir, but we only just got into town. I'm not sure who you hired last night. What was your name again?
He narrows his eyes and wavers for a second, kind of does that sway where he goes in a circle. Grizlocke, bellboy. Well, do you want to make some money or not? I don't know what them damn bastards went from last night, but I need somebody out there catching me fish.
Well, it seems there's a bit of pardon me for being for interrupting here, but it seems as though there's some good fortune here. I know it seems at least 3 of us would love to help catch some fish.
That's right. Right, Zavros.
Where
Yes, not that
exactly?
I kill things with a bow, but I've always been hankering to try out these rods that you have on the walls here.
Where is it that your boat is located? What part of the water?
Down at the docks, finish your ale, follow me. And you start stumbling towards the door, pulling his hood back up.
Looks like Timor's smiling upon us today.
I I down my ale, I set the cup back down, put down another silver.
All right.
And I start walking.
The rest of you follow him out, or
I'm gonna kind of give
But I'm like drinking, trying to set
Axel
down
the
real
look.
quick.
Like, I don't think I've ever been fishing before.
Don't worry. You see, you just look out on the water and you say, it's a nice day for fishing, isn't it? And then no one expects you to do anything else. And you're like, oh, it's just not fighting over here. And then you reel in, and then you throw back out, and you go, I will try again over here.
I will keep that in
It's
mind.
very easy.
Okay. Then let's go. Let's go catch us some fish.
so you all follow him outside. As you step outside, you pull up your hoods and your face coverings. Axel might not need to pull up as much. Being a Goliath, he can kind of take a little more of the sting of the wind. But you start making your way down towards the docks, following as this dwarf stumbles through the snowy streets. You see him like he'll waver towards a building and then go straight again. You head down towards the docks on Maruduldun. And when he gets there, he you guys see that there's quite an expanse of ice that surround the docks, and all of the boats are actually sitting on top of the ice. It does eventually end and go into water, but all the space around the docks and the shoreline is frozen. He starts going into a shed next to these two boats on the dock and starts digging around, like pushing things out, like a tarp will fall out, and he's trying to pull all of these fishing rods out and things of that nature.
I have a question real quick,
Yes.
Sharp. That lantern I got with the oil, can the lantern be turned on and off, or is it...
Yes. So it's a hooded lantern, so essentially you would open it and then you're able to ignite it, and then when you want to turn it off, you just close it and it extinguishes the flame.
Okay, as we're walking through town, I'm gonna turn it on.
All right.
Just to see if it...
You turn it on. 1 second.
And then I'll turn it off once we get to the boats.
Yeah. You actually it stays normal color, so it works as a normal lantern all the time. It just changes color if the thing that it is tracking, that has been enchanted to track, is in the area. But it just stays a normal color the whole way down to the docks. Yeah, you make it down there. He starts digging into the thing. You see these two boats that are next to this shed. Is there anything you want to do while he is preparing your stuff for you? You'd hear him swearing in Dwarvish as things are falling on top of him in there, and he's pulling out these rods and tackle for the fishing.
So, Grizlocke, was it?
That's my name. What's your name?
I'm Olin.
Oh,
Pleasure.
I'd say it's nice to meet you, but time's money. I can't be wasting time chatting. What do you have to say?
Well, heard some rumors out on this lake of a big monster.
Those are just rumors. There's no damn monster out on the lake.
Heard there's been a few deaths.
What is he thinking as Orlin is asking him these questions?
And when the surface thoughts is all you're looking for?
Yes, just surface thought.
He instantly, you can see that he's trying to deflect, is what his thought is right away.
Orlin, this gentleman is deflecting.
It's alright.
Good news for one of us.
Anybody that wants to kind of look around too can do a perception check. That's up to you. If you'd be looking around at all, and if you want to tell me what you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm like looking out over the ice, like kind of near where the water is. Maybe like, because you said it's ice extended, right?
Yep.
And then it eventually breaks off into water.
Yep.
I'm just looking out over the water, see if I see any type of movement. Maybe a little hump coming out of the back.
Okay. Yeah, perceptions for people that want it. Axel and Heinlein, what are you looking?
Oh, I can't see shit.
Look.
I'm making sure that these boats are gonna hold me and some other people. Like, if these are dwarf-sized boats, or like, am I gonna sink one of these boats?
In Heinlein?
So I guess basically, when he mentions the monster that he's talking about, and I'm like kind of like in my head, I'm like, he didn't say. So he when he said fish, he meant monster, and I like look out to the lake, but I imagine with my 3, I'm like, my eyes are still not used to looking out in this sheer white, and I can't really distinguish much from anything else.
Yeah, well, without any kind of like goggles or anything to cover your eyes, it's just wind blowing snow across the ice. It's same thing for you, Zavros. It's like you can kind of make things out because you're kind of used to this, but it's still wind just blowing snow into your face. Orlin, what were you looking for? And narrate how that turned out for you because of your that one.
I was looking for big spears. I feel like I found one, but by poking myself with it.
Yeah, like it as what's this guy's name? Grizlocke is like digging through to find these fishing poles and things. The spear actually falls out and knocks you on the head as you're trying to look around at things. But Axel, you are looking at these 2 boats. Even with a 10, you're able to see the boats' names are the Burly Ram and the Pronged Goat. They seem like they are made for standard human holding. So with you, so it'd be like standard human holding of 4, but with you, you'd have to do 1 less person. So it'd be 3. It'd be you and 2 other humanoids. And the prong goat actually has some damage to it. It doesn't seem like its damage is going to sink it because it's towards the top of the boat. It's not in any of the part that'd be underwater, but it does seem to have some damage to it.
Can I take a closer look at the damage? Is it like normal wear and tear?
Yeah, you can do an inspection for me. Wait, is that the right thing? Is inspection, I think?
Investigation, I
Yeah,
assumed.
that's what I'm thinking, yeah. 17. So you get closer, and this looks almost like teeth marks, like something has bitten a chunk out of the side of this boat. It's towards the rim, so it's like somebody came down and bit the rim off the side of the boat.
And this is the pronged goat?
The pronged goat, yep.
Seeing that, and seeing Zavros like looking out into the water, friend, there may be come over and look at this. There are big teeth marks on a boat, and you don't normally see that.
Oh, I'm gonna walk over there and just kind of look at this boat.
Yeah, you can give me a survival check or inspection, up to you.
Or investigation.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. Sorry, I don't know what the heck I'm thinking.
I got a
survival.
15 on my survival.
Yeah, with this along with the sketches that Orlin has shown you, it seems like that's possibly what could have done. Again, it's a sketch, you're not entirely sure, but it does seem like a big, toothy bite out of this thing.
Yeah, something definitely bit this. Might actually be something I've kind of heard about. Orlin, friend, grumpy man, come here.
What is it?
Those look like the teeth that could come from something that, what did you, a plessy, a big fucking long-necked water thing.
I will take a look at these marks.
You can also give me an investigation or a survival check.
Okay. A 24.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like, I don't know how much you believe that plesiosaurs are living still, but if one was, this looks like it.
Yep. Bite size matches what I think. So, could be dealing with that.
At this, Grizlocke comes out of the says, you don't know what you're talking about. Did you see all them damn ice floes out there? The people before you are just blind and ran into one of them.
This isn't your ship.
No, this is my ship. It was found just adrift. They abandoned it out there, the last people I hired. You better not be doing that or you ain't getting no money.
I'm sure the people who
Oh.
abandoned you are dead.
Yes.
So the fact that they're not
You
getting
have-
paid.
A bite mark on a boat and missing crew members, and you think they just abandoned it?
Look, do you want the money or do you not want
Well,
it?
I really just want the head of whatever did this.
fine.
As long as you bring me fish, I don't give a damn what else you do out there. Just bring me back my boats and my fish. And he'll throw a bunch of rods into the two ships, as well as some other gear for you guys. Well, you're gonna have to drag the damn things out there ever since this winter started. You can't be floating them at the docks, so you two strapping boys better go drag them out, I suppose.
Just like grab the rope on the front of one of them, and I assume I can just start pulling it. I can pull 900 pounds.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. You can give me athletics with advantage. And whoever else wants to pull the other one would just roll it normally.
Oh,
Somebody's
I think
staticking real bad.
I think we
I
just
think he
lost
froze.
Phage.
I think we did too.
Oh, that's
Or you
what
might
that
just
was.
be-
I'll start pulling another one.
Okay. Oh no,
Oh,
yeah, I
he's
think he's
back.
He just moved again.
He's back.
There you
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So you can start pulling another one. So you can do athletics, without it with a standard, and then Axel can do it with advantage. As well, the other three that are still at the dock, as Grizlocke walks away, like he's preoccupying himself with putting everything back into the shed. You actually do see a figure that is at the docks walking towards you, who appears to be covered up.
I got a nat 1 on my athletics.
He slips
Oh,
on
Does
ice.
does it just look like someone just walking the docks, or does it look like they're heading in our direction
This is
specifically?
appropriate.
They appear to be heading in your direction. Heinlein, you attempt to pull this boat, and you don't get a good footing on this ice, and you actually slip as you're trying to pull. Axel just takes off with his boat across the ice.
Sorry, I got this, these dang crampons aren't working like they were supposed to. Sit right on the ice.
The trick is to go with the sliding. You just kind of start sliding and you just use the momentum. You go much quicker then.
Trick is to be a giant when I get back up and I
It helps too.
and I start pulling again.
What are this lady's surface thoughts as she's walking towards it?
Her surface thoughts. So she's moving with purpose towards you, and she wants to tell you something about what you're getting yourself into. Yeah, and you can roll athletics again. Heinlein.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
$15. You also you stand back up and brush the snow from the ice off of you, and you take Axel's advice and begin to pull.
Yeah.
But the other three of you, this figure approaches, and they'll pull down their face mask, and you see that it appears to be a half elven face. Well, it's a full face, but it appears to be the face of a half elf. And they say, do you know what you're getting yourselves into? Do you know what's out there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We might have an idea.
Yes, it seems that you do. Well, that's a surprise. Resnick usually doesn't tell them anybody
No.
what's out
He
there.
was-
didn't.
Holding the information from us, but it was plenty clear.
And Grizlocke will come out of the shed at this point. Are you trying to scare away my fishers again? I told you to stay away and out of your business. And this Alpha is like, I just want people to know what they're getting into. And then, and she'll turn back to the rest of you. I'm hoping that you all could maybe help me take some notes so we can keep track of of what this thing is, maybe help others that are going to be fishing as well, and what we can do to stop all this destruction that's happening?
Well, Miss, sorry I didn't get your name. I have it now, but I didn't before.
Tally, and they. I prefer they.
Talia. Well, if you want notes, Orlin is your guy, but I really think that Zavros wants the head of whatever this thing is.
Yes, we can let you study the most of it, but I would like its heart, its bottom left rib, and its spleen. So, other than that, you're free to take notes.
Good luck
Strange
with that.
trophies to keep. Wouldn't those just
What's
rot?
happening?
Look, good luck with that. Anybody that's encountered this beast has not come back to talk about it. So, but I mean, take this with you and get what you can. I can't offer much else for helping, but she'll hand you, or they will hand you a notebook. And just write down what you can, anything you see, even if it like just passes by, whatever you can get off it. Anything helps.
Do you perhaps know where its typical hunting grounds are?
Just along the coast of Bremen, and it doesn't seem to go anywhere else. Just go a couple ways out into the water here.
I think if we go out in the waters, he'll find us. I don't think it sounds like we have to worry about finding it.
That seems to be what happens typically, yes.
But we're not going fishing in the sense that Axel explained to me, but we're fishing for a big monster.
Yes.
Well, you're still supposed to catch them damn fish out there for me. What the hell else am I sending you out there for? 5 copper a trout, every trout you bring back.
Oh, you were sending us out there because the other people abandoned you.
Yeah, they abandoned me, so I need somebody else to catch them damn trouts for me. That's where you come in.
Well, if I see any mementos of them when I open this beast, I'll be sure to, find out who their families are.
Fingers keepers, you keep what
Sure.
you find, I don't care.
Sir, if we come back with trout, I'm gonna have to ask that perhaps you might need to start offering just a little smidge more money, because this is a dangerous job, and when you send someone out to a dangerous job, you don't cheap them out of the pay that it's worth. Nothing is worth killing yourself over when you have a fighting chance out there, right? So you need to make sure that there's something that people are coming back to.
Yeah, you're talking out the side of your mouth. Just take the money or don't, and he starts walking away. He walks far enough away, he can still keep an eye on you, but he can't hear what you guys are saying anymore.
No.
Island, I think he was a little too drunk to understand that concept, but it's a good one.
I'm expecting that the only thing we'll be catching out there is Orlin and Zavros. Was that your names? Looks like all we'll be catching is their fish. So,
I would not say that. We're going to need bait.
I think, are we not the bait?
I don't know if it'd be best to fight this thing on a rickety old boat. Catch the fish, set a trap, and then attack from land if we can, or what ice we can find.
Well, then that's a wonderful idea. Maybe if we could net up some trout and kind of keep it along the icy edge, maybe, dangle some blood out into the water, maybe it'll follow it, and, at least we'll see its head if it comes up.
Now, maybe I don't really understand the concept here, and maybe you can help me understand it a little bit further. But if we come back to the coast with some of this fish, is that one not gonna harass us for the fish?
He's way away. He won't come back until we let him know that we've done it.
I'll do it
Plus, it's a nice little walk out here.
We won't bring it back right here, if we can avoid it.
Well, we should still be prepared just in case it does attack us on the boat.
Sure.
I stick my hand in my pocket and clasp my green gem, and I'm gonna cast Mage Armor.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, as you cast Mage Armor, you all head out to the boats that Axel and Heinlein have pulled out, and that's where we're going to take our official break. So thank you guys that have stayed with us so far. We got plenty more to come. Our adventurers, as to say, are heading out onto Mardulden to fight this lake monster. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back once again with the Rime of the Frostmaiden. In our first half, our party met together. A few of them, well, mostly for the second time with one of our characters. Otherwise, everybody kind of knew each other already. And they talked about the task they'd already been given, and they got a new task from Grizlocke, the drunken dwarf of Bremen, who tasked them to go fishing for some knucklehead trout, which all of the people who've been here for a little while know that basically knucklehead trout is one of the only meats that is prevalent enough to be eaten in Icewind Dale, whereas other meats are kind of more of a rarity because you have to actually go and find them and hunt for them, and it's not easy to do that. So knucklehead trout, you guys are used to the taste of that. As far as Heinlein goes, you're gonna get used to the taste of that.
Yeah.
So they're these very large trout with this huge head. I can actually put a picture if I was smart, I would have put it up already because I thought about doing it. It should be right here. Knucklehead trout, show to players. So this is what you're fishing for, if you decide to fish, that is.
Little beluga trouts.
Yeah. Oh, we lost the camera for a second, but we're so you guys pulled the boats out to the water, and you've gotten in them and set off. We determined while Chris was away that in the Burly Ram is Axel and Mila, and that is the ship without the bite mark out of it. And in the Pronged Goat is Heinlein, Orlin, and Zavras. So the Pronged Goat belongs to you guys. I don't think we determined who's driving each boat, though. Like who's steering it and using oars.
What type of vessel is this? Does this have a sail? Does this?
It is a rowboat.
It's a rowboat. So there's not really so much a steer, unless it's one of those ones that's got the paddle in the back like that.
Nope, you're just using some oars to steer.
I'll rock it.
Right. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've ridden in a boat, so.
I mean, I'm not that great at the whole like rowing thing. I might get tired real quick.
I just assumed I'd be driving if it was me and Mila in the boat.
I think it's between Zavras and Orlin for the other boat.
Oh, yeah.
Be that difficult.
Yeah, he's good.
As I'm holding up the
Zavras
oars.
gonna steer that one. How far do you guys plan to go out?
Is there an area where there's like ice chunks big enough to step on, or like maybe a little island out there of land, or?
Yeah, there's quite a few ice flows within the water out there.
We want to row to a sizable one of those, I think.
Okay, cool. As you row up to the one of the closer ones, I will need a wisdom check from Zavras and from Axel.
This is with advantage, right?
It is not.
I'm on Zorag.
Okay.
Oh,
terrible.
well, too bad it's not Doip rules.
So, as you guys are paddling up to the to the ice flow. Zavras, you're able to like turn the boat as you approach to be able to kind of steer to a halt. But Axel, you're just putting a little too much power into your oaring, and as you get close, you actually bump into this ice flow, and it takes a little bit of a chunk out of your boat.
What?
Yeah, you hit this ice flow hard, and you can just hear it grind against your boat.
Whoops.
Whoops. That doesn't sound good.
And it's like the boat's still holding; it doesn't seem to be taking on any water, but it did.
Are we
scrape
supposed
up
to be
quite a bit.
hitting the ice?
No, technical difficulties. I don't know my own strength.
All right. What do you guys do when you get out here?
Oh.
There's 3 poles in each boat, as well as like tackle, bait for the trout.
Is
all
there
this kind of fun
nets?
stuff.
Or is it more
There
pole
are
fishing?
not nets. It is just
Okay.
fishing poles.
I'm gonna reach and grab one of these rods and just kind of like, I think I read something about this, and just like try my best to put some tackle on this thing, and just cast it out.
Zavras casts out. Anybody else casting out, or
How many
just hanging
rods are
out?
there?
Yes.
There are 3 in each boat, so there's enough for everybody.
I
There's
guess,
there's an extra one in the other boat.
I'd say it's been a long time since I've done this, but I suppose if you can point out how I'm supposed to do it, I can give it a shot. If we're looking to get bait.
Oh. I think it's pretty simple if recall. It's just put the bait on the hook here. Toss it in like so.
I do that. Throw it in.
All right.
You feel
Alrighty,
snug,
excellent.
you feel tug, and you start pulling and reeling in.
What am I supposed to do with this long thing?
So, okay, here is what you do. Does this boat have like the fun things where you can put like multiple poles in little like cups?
Yeah.
So you can have
Yeah,
multiple going at the same time. Great. I have 2 lines baited up out there, and then I have my war pick and like a third one in between in case the giant plesiosaur shows up. And then I go over to Mila like, okay, so this is what you do. So you take the hook, you take a little bit of this, and you go like this, so it goes through the barb, and then you go over it again, because you want the fish to not see the hook, but to see the bait. And then when you feel something tug, you go boop, and then it gets caught in their lip.
Well, that seems pretty easy.
It is.
So we haven't seen each other in a few months. I learned how to do something new. Would you like me to try it on you?
What is it?
A little bit of more or less the same of me being able to read your thoughts. And without moving her mouth, Axel hears in his head. But it's more like this.
Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I mean, it's very cool, but I don't like it.
But it'll be good if I can work on it some more. If we can go far distances and we can talk to people without letting other people know.
But like, 'cause Axel is talking out loud, but I cannot talk back to you. Do I think back at you? How does it work? I like think
Yes, you
very
can
hard at
actually
Mila.
You can think back at me, because I mean, I can read the thoughts, but you can also talk silently back at me. It only lasts for a minute.
I'm thinking very hard at Mila. I don't know if this is going to work. I still don't like it.
I won't use it on you unless you're okay with it.
I appreciate it.
She's talking out loud now.
All right. As you guys are fishing, everybody has a pole in the water, right? And there's an extra one in the other boat that's out. All right, cool. Can I get survival checks from everybody? Axel, roll me 2.
Oh, I'm rolling so well tonight.
I'm doing terrible. I got a nat 20 and a 7.
So, Mila, as you're talking to Axel, you feel your rod begin to tug, and you can see the line in the water start to spin as something's pulling on it.
Oh no, it's doing that thing. What do I just pull?
You a little flick up, and then you reel.
All right, as you do your flick up, give me a athletics check, please.
Eleven.
Hold on, let me go to the fishes page. What happens here?
I'm not too sure that this is
Oh
working.
boy. It's Mila. So you pull, like you're trying to set the hook in the trout's mouth, and you feel it pull back harder. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please. 13. So as it pulls harder, it pulls so hard it actually just pulls the rod out of your hands. And you kind of wobble for a second, but Axel is right there already trying to help you, so he kind of catches the back of your robe to stop you from falling in the water. But this fish just pulls the rod down underneath the water.
I don't think I like this.
And now, Orlin, you feel this rod pull, and it feels like the hook's set instantly, but I still need an athletics check from you.
18.
Yeah, this fish rolled a nat 1. So you, the hook's already set, you give it a jerk, and the fish just comes flying out of the water into the boat and starts flopping on the boat.
That's a nice, whatever that thing is, trout they called it?
Knucklehead trout.
It's a bit weird looking, but I suppose if this is it.
A knock on its large head, just tunk tunk.
Yeah, that's the good eating part.
Yeah, you knock on the head, and it almost feels like there's a bunch of fat underneath there. Yeah, so you have one fish so far. I now need somebody. I think I'm gonna have Heinlein do this one for me.
Ooh.
I need you to roll a d20 for me, please.
A d20.
And a d6 as well. So we'll just do them both at the same time.
20 and a d6.
A 10 and a 6.
3.
That's a 10 and a 3.
A 10 and 3, sorry.
I got half on both.
So, yeah, as Orlin rips this fish out of the water and it flops for a while on the ground, you look out across the water, and I'm sure Zavros is looking too, but it seems to be silent. There's nobody else on the lake so far. You don't see any movement under the water. So for the first hour, it's just fishing and talking.
All right, now I'm not used to these things. This thing's a little ugly, but I suppose we can deal with it. Is we just need the one then, or you think we should get more? How big do we think this
He
is?
did say get some fish, so I'd assume it was a plural thing that he was.
Well, I assumed we were getting this fish for at bait for the monster.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need a bit more to lure such a beast.
How big are we thinking this thing is?
No, from the picture, it's very large.
Oh, all right. I like that idea. So I suppose we should get a bit more.
Hmm.
All right, who's all putting their lines in the water this time?
Not
There's down a
Mila.
rod. What was it? Not Mila?
Not Mila.
All right, so we're still rolling with 2 with Axel then.
Oh,
And 3.
By the way, that Olin, I'm gonna just do this real quick, and I'm gonna take one of my short swords out and kind of jab into the fish and get some of the blood on it. Just put it around there and just cast out.
It's not the best idea, but okay.
Zavros.
Well, from what I read in the book, doesn't fish eat other fish?
Some.
Yeah, it
All
seems
of these not
way.
that kind.
It seems like when Zavros actually swirls his blade in the water, it almost seems to scare the other fish away because the prong
Well, I'm
goat.
not swirling in the water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You swirled in the water, and it seemed to scare him away. That's what you did, right, with the
No,
sword?
no, I stabbed it in the fish that he caught to get some of the blood and put it on my lure and then cast it out.
Put in your lure. Okay, then that's not what happened. But I mean, still, the prong goat doesn't catch any fish this this second hour. But Axel, both of your pulls at the same time just bend wildly.
I grab them both and I try and hoist them up.
Do athletics with disadvantage.
Okay.
Trying to double fist these rods.
Oh,
A
no.
7. I'm a big boy, though.
You are a big boy. Yes, but I mean the combined power of both these fish start to pull down, and I need a dexterity saving throw from you.
Ooh, I'm not great at those.
Yeah, you're not great as both the combined power of both these fish pull on the rods. Axel goes in the water with these fish.
Man overboard!
Get him quick, Milo.
I don't. Is there anything around, like I don't know, like one of those life preserver things?
Some life preservers, but there are oars if you want to try and help him by pulling.
Alright,
them up.
I will try and get an oar out to him for him to climb up. I'm sorry, Axel, I do not have the strength to pull you in.
All right.
I'll pull
I'll
out
start-
some of my hempen rope and fucking toss out there to him.
I was gonna start rowing our way over to their boat.
Oh, I thought we were close to one another.
I think we're like close, but I just mean like, I
I think
assume
it-
we're at least a couple feet apart, and I just. roll.
Wisdom check from you, Orlin.
Oh, for me?
Yep, from you.
Wisdom check or save?
Check.
18.
18. To avoid
This is
running into
Zorag.
this ice floe as you get over towards the other, and to avoid hitting the other boat as well. And between the two of you, you're able to get Axel up into the boat. Axel, dripping wet with water, for most people would be bad, but because of you being a Goliath and having natural cold resistance, it's uncomfortable. But
I'm gonna.
you're not gonna.
Can I start using prestidigitation to dry him off?
You can also do that. That will also help him.
Like, hold out my arms.
Alright, this
Thank
might
you.
take just a little bit.
I'm willing to wait. I don't have anything else to do.
I don't. You know how you don't like my mind games? Well, I'm not a fan of this fishing thing.
Yeah. The burly ram is also out of poles at this point, because Axel is very unfortunate to have two fish at the same time. Yeah.
Well, I have an idea. And then what if we just hand over all the fish onto the burly ram so they can store that while we do the fishing?
That's fine.
That way we can stay close to each other and it's not an issue. And then that way, if there's any more mishaps, hopefully there's just another boat people land in.
I was thinking, perhaps they could start setting up for the staging for the attack. But either way,
That sounds good too.
So you guys hand over the knucklehead trout to the burly ram. What are you doing at this point? Because I hear there might be talks of setting up.
My idea and what Axel would start doing is probably like a quick field dress of the fish, essentially, like lop off the head, cut it open, gut it, and then just like start chumming the waters, like chuck the head out and then chuck the entrails out just to get scent out there.
Give me a survival to see how well you are able to cut this fish up. 14. Yeah, you're able to clean it pretty well. You don't leave any of the guts behind in it, or cut open any of the organs that would cause a mess within the fish's meat, and are able to throw that out in the water. Did anybody are you staying in the boats then at this point and just continue to fish, or?
does it look like from the iceberg we could throw our lines out and still continue fishing?
Yeah,
Okay.
you could do. It might. you would have to secure the boats pretty well so they aren't bumping into each other and the ice flow if you were to do that. But yeah, you'd be able to do that.
Perhaps,
Mila's gonna. Sorry.
Perhaps we should get out of the waters if he's going to be chumming them.
Yes, that sounds like a wonderful idea. We've got this rope here. I was gonna throw it to him, but yeah, he's up in the boat now. He seemed to have done a good job. I don't know what I was thinking, so maybe we can tie these boats up with it. I have an extra short sword I can stab into the ice nearby for our boat and tie it off, but I'm not sure about their side.
You just like from my bag, take out a small bag that jangles. I always carry spikes. You never know when they're going to come in handy.
So can I keep my sword?
Yes.
Oh, it's a wonderful big man here. Not really sure what you are, actually.
All right, so
Yeah, Mila's gonna keep an eye out for any like movement in the distance after this trout ends up in the water, and keep an ear out for thoughts that are not supposed to be here.
all right. Let me get survival checks from. I'll need 2 survival checks. One for each of the boat, one for each of the boat rowers. See if you're able to dock against this iceberg without problems, and then whoever's tying up the boats will need to do a survival check as well.
I said that I had
Okay,
the
because I was
oars.
under the. Yeah, he's got the
So,
oars,
I
so.
guess I'll do that part.
Okay.
If Zavos
I mean,
wants
if you
to
want to do
tie.
it, you can do it with advantage because Axel also has the spike, so I assume he'd be helping.
17.
17. Let me double check.
Then you needed something else for tying up.
Yeah, I need one for who's ever driving, and then one for who's tying. Is Orlin still driving the boat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I was-
Orland's still driving it.
Okay,
I
but
was
yeah.
just gonna tie up our own boat, like.
Yeah, if you want to roll the last survival check with advantage.
Is Axel driving or is Axel tying the boat?
You can do both. Axel, I assumed Axel was rolling for driving.
Yes, that's what I was rolling for.
Everything goes smoothly. Axel's learned from his past run-in with the ice flow how to kind of keep it steady. You're able to do that, and with the help of Axel, Zavros is able to tie them up, or Zavros is able to tie them up and get the spikes in so they aren't floating around, bumping into things, and causing more damage. At this point, I need... Who's next? Or I kind of skipped people on the layout. Orlin, can you roll me 2 d20s and 2 d6s, please?
So that is a 12 and 4 on the 20s.
All
and
right.
on the 6s, a 6 and 3.
So off in the distance, you spot a boat approaching, and it seems to be flying the flag of Tourmaline. There also appears to be only one fisher on there, surprisingly. You'd expect there to be more. It's probably just somebody having a day out on the lake, might have gone a little too far away from Tourmaline. They don't really seem to approach you. Mila, you can tell that they're just out there fishing. They're just
All right.
trying to get some kind of relaxation in this terrible environment. Yeah, as Axel waves, he gives a little wave back, but he continues with his own business. He's quite a ways out, so not in immediate danger if something does approach you guys, but other than that. Yeah, do we continue fishing at all, or are we just waiting to see
yeah.
what happens?
I think I would.
Axel,
I'm gonna grab the rod.
how you feeling? You cold?
Oh, it's all right. I'm made for this type of weather, and Mila's done her little magic, so I'm mostly dried up now.
All right. If you start to feel chilly, let me know. I can start a fire for you.
I don't feel chilly often.
You know, I'm
Good
starting to
deal.
think I'm getting a little bit more hang of this. Every time I do it, I think I'm just doing a little bit better. It's coming back to me. I'm a bit rusty, like I said, but I think slowly this fishing thing is coming to me.
Yeah, it might have been just the sudden amount of movement that's been happening, a Goliath falling in the water and the boat scrambling to get tied up. But it seems no fish are currently, or maybe it's just the chum being thrown in the water. The fish don't seem to be wanting to bite currently. Mila, can you roll me 3d20 and 3d6?
3d20. 3d6. So that's a 4, a 13, and an 11 for the 3d20, and then a 4, 5, and 4 for the d6.
5 and 4. All right. So as you are all sitting there, you are looking over the surface of the water, waiting for anything to happen. Fish. At this point, you'd be happy to see a fish again, probably. Suddenly, the boats begin to bob a little bit in the water, as a cold wind rushes across the lake. You see a large mast glide below the boats and then underneath the ice floe.
Can I hear it?
Can you hear it? Yes, you like as it's going under, you're trying to look into its mind, and you see, or you hear it thinking that it's looking to capsize these boats.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little deeper if I can.
Alright.
So that's a wisdom save.
A wisdom save, huh? Let me double check some things. A 13. Does that?
He just makes it.
Yeah, you aren't like you try to push and you almost feel it react and push you back out. Like it's unnatural how it was able to push you out for being what you assume is just a monster.
All right, we got incoming, and he's looking to tip us over. I don't know why.
I grab one of the flasks hanging at my side, put my hand under it, and start to like boil it, and then swig it back, casting False Life.
All right, and with that casting of False Life, we're gonna have initiative rolls.
Oh.
Let me get a turn order up if I can. You know what I forgot to do? Put
What is
tokens
that?
in for everybody.
Oh no.
So I will actually just write it down for myself, and
Okay.
because we're not gonna have a battle map or anything, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
But that is something I have to remind myself to do.
Look at Axel go. That's not a 20. Stop doing this.
What is it, 15? Is that what it is? 15 plus 1, 16?
Yeah, 16.
16.
I don't know why it didn't.
17. You had a 16, Mila?
16, yes.
Alright. Heinlein got a 5. And Orlin got a 4. Alright. Axel, you are up. Currently, you can't see this thing as it has moved under the ice flow. What are you gonna do?
I think I'm going to... How big did this thing look?
It looked...
Like what, if you had to put a size category on?
If I had to put a size category, it looked large.
Okay. So I think I have my war pick kind of tucked back into my belt, and I'm just gonna like standing at the edge of the ice near where the boats are, knowing that it wants to capsize the boats, and I would like to ready a grapple on the plesiosaur to try and prevent it from moving once it starts to push the boats over.
All right. You ready your grapple? Zavros, what are you doing?
I guess I'm looking at the water and kind of at the ice near around me to see if I see like a shadow or something. and like while I'm grabbing my bow off my back.
All right. If you want to do a perception check to see if you can see it.
Ah, 11.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have appeared from under the ice floe yet. It might be behind on the other side as well, trying to circle back around, but you don't see it quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so next is... unless you want to do anything else with
Nope.
your turn. Nope.
That's
Alright. Mila.
Can I see it?
You can't see it. You can do a perception check if you'd like to try and find it.
No, if I just can't just see it right off. I'm going to use my action to try and find out why he's trying to capsize our boat. So I want to try and detect thoughts again.
Alright. It got a 4.
Oh. So if it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind.
So you push back into this thing's mind, and you're able to push past its barrier this time. And you see it is thinking that it was told to do this, and if it doesn't, then it will not be able to continue being the way it is. And the last thing you hear is, I don't want to be dumb again.
You know, the poor thing just doesn't want to be stupid.
It's about to be dead.
I think the stupidest thing it could have done was really mess with some people's lives.
I mean, something else told him to do this. I'm not sure exactly what or who.
Do you have any way of communicating with it?
Maybe if I can see it, but it'll have to be super quick.
Alright, on its turn, it's going to smash into the bottom of these boats. It doesn't emerge from the water, unfortunately. It just hits the bottom of the boats, and fortunately, because nobody is in there, you don't have to make a save to not get knocked out. And then it continues back down. So it doesn't ever come out of the water or close enough to the grapple, unfortunately, on this round. Heinlein.
So in that second, as soon as we saw it was coming, and she said that it was probably going to try and capsize, my immediate reaction is to run to the boats and start trying to pull one up onto the ice. So
Sorry,
it's not...
you're very quiet for me. You're trying to pull one out of the water? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I'm running over there and trying to hoist it back up onto the ice, so that way it's not capable of being capsized.
Okay, yeah. Make an athletics check for me.
Sure. It can make, on its turn, it can make an intelligence save, an intelligence check against my intelligence check to end the spell, otherwise the connection stays.
Let me double check something with it. Just to make sure I have the right stats for this thing, because they don't give me the right stats for some reason. Alright. So intelligence save?
It says an intelligence check.
Intelligence check, okay, cool.
Oh, the creature can use its action to do it.
Oh, it's action, they use this action, never mind.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're still connected. I can still detect his thoughts.
Yeah, I'll let you look into his thoughts without using an action or anything on your turn. A 12. You aren't quite able to pull this thing out of the water by yourself. It was easy enough to pull it across the ice, but trying to just lift this whole thing out of the water is a little bit harder. So you aren't quite able to pull it out.
Alright.
Alright, that is Orlin then.
I'm gonna go over and help Heinlein.
Okay, you're just helping him. Next turn, you will have advantage, if that's the way you want to do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Axel.
I am seeing that it didn't really surface. Gonna do something dumb on the first episode. Great. Axel like dives back into the water and is just like in between these two boats, waiting for this thing to show up again so he can grab it.
It jumps in the water and prepares a grapple. It is then Zavros' turn.
Zavros seeing this guy just jump in the water. He's gonna be like, oh, what the hell? And I'm just gonna like kind of run up towards the water a little bit with like my bow ready. I'm gonna like ready my action where if I see something coming up out of that water that's not definitely not Axel, I'm gonna shoot it.
All right. Ready and in action to shoot. Mila, it's your turn.
All right. So I'm still connected to it, so I can hear whatever it's thinking. Has its thoughts changed at all?
They've changed in the fact that it's going to circle back around and try to do more damage to the boat because it didn't seem to knock anything out last time. So it's going to try and actually damage the boats this time.
All right, it's gonna do damage. It's gonna do damage this time. I'm gonna try and yell at it.
Right.
Why are you attacking us? We didn't do nothing to you.
Alright, so you reach out with, I assume this is the message cantrip?
No, I'm just yelling.
Oh, you're just yelling.
Just yelling.
There's actually a thing for this, I believe.
I was gonna use my telepathy, but I can't see it. I can't use that.
Yeah. So, on this thing's turn, you see, like, the mass turns around and starts swimming, and it seems to slow down a little bit, and it begins to surface. And you see the reptilian head start to come out of the water and the long neck. Do you instantly shoot at it, Zavros, or do you wait to see what it's gonna do with Mila yelling at it? Because it seems to change what it's doing.
Oh wait.
All right. Yes. So it raises its head out of the water, and you see this long neck, and it opens its mouth, says, "I'm listening."
You don't want to be stupid. What made you not stupid?
Before we continue this conversation, I want to make sure we get through everybody else to see if they're
Alright.
gonna do anything rash. Heinlein, you would be next in the order. Do you do anything as this thing comes out of the water?
Well, as it's like popping up, my idea is that we're still trying to hoist this boat up, so I'm gonna do that again now that I've got advantage on it.
Athletics check with advantage.
15. this time.
15. You're just able to scrape it along the ice and pull it up over Axel's head as he is in between the two boats in the water. And you get the one boat up. You get the pronged goat out of the water.
Okay.
Orland, do you do anything?
I'm going to prepare an action. How far is it?
It is about 20 feet out.
I'm preparing a Toll the Dead for if Zavros attacks it, because this is his thing anyways.
Okay, cool. Axel, you're in the water.
So it like popped its head up and is talking to Mila.
Yeah, it straight up just opened its mouth and talked to Mila in common.
Yeah. Was not expecting that. And I'll just like climb out of the water back onto the iceberg.
Cool. Zavros, this thing you were told is causing problems in Bremen has just come out of the water and in common said, "I'm listening to Mila."
Hold an action where if its head comes down to bite somebody, I'm just gonna let loose that arrow just right on its head.
Fair enough. All right. Mila and this thing can have its conversation then. And anybody can join in the conversation, it's not just them. So Mila, what did you say to it?
I understand you don't like to be stupid, but we didn't do anything to you. Why are you attacking us? We're just
You.
fishing.
The human told me I had to, or she'd make me dumb again.
What human? That human? Are there any humans? Are any of you humans?
Heinlein is human.
Okay, I'll point towards Heinlein.
No, not that human. I've never seen him before.
Does he think of the human that he just mentioned?
Yes, and he'll say it too. Their name was Ravison. They said they claim to serve the Frostmaiden. The Frostmaiden wants the people of Bremen to suffer.
Why? What did Bremen do to the Frostmaiden?
That's all they told me, just to make it suffer.
So they only just gave you enough information to make you think you're smart? How do you know they made you smarter?
They used some kind of nature magic, made me smarter than I could talk. They gave me fish and said to terrorize the people of Bremen, or they'd make me dumb again.
That's not a real nice thing to do. Terrorize people so you can talk?
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting this here conversation, and I start walking over towards, the area. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse right now. This cold air I'm not used to. Could you calm down just a little bit so I can speak to you without it being an issue?
Give me a persuasion check on that one.
No? Okay.
I think I'm fine from here.
Alright. I just need to ask, how much fealty do you have to your lord? Do you feel like you owe everything to this man?
They've made me what I am. I can't go back to being stupid.
I understand.
Do you want to be stupid or do you want to be dead? I guess is really what we're gonna get down to.
Are you threatening me?
I have a counterpoint. I have a different option. If this Ravison was no longer around, would you just go back to eating the fish and not bothering the fishermen?
If that means I'm not gonna be stupid anymore. If you kill them, does the spell go away?
I don't know.
Sorry, y'all, but I think we're at a... you may not understand. I think, strangely enough, I relate to this creature. And I draw my sword. And I undo my shield.
Mila, you were going to say something.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know what kind of magic it used to know if it would end or not. Do you know?
As you say this, I want my two magic users to actually do an Arcana check for me, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got a
20.
One.
I thought that
And
nat
now
one
what,
was-
Orlin, this is... Like, just seeing this thing, I think, has caused you to be aside yourself.
Holy shit, it's not a myth.
Yeah. This thing is in the flesh in front of you. Mila, you have been working with all different kinds of magic, being in that magic shop. Even though magic comes innately to you as a sorcerer, you still have learned a lot working with your boss. You would know that this has the signs of the Awaken spell, which is a druidic spell. And you know the Awaken spell cannot be reversed. Doesn't matter if the druid wants to do it or if the druid dies, it can't be reversed.
Well, if I understand correctly of the spell that they put you on, it cannot be reversed, whether you kill people for them or not. So you can still just go around catching fish and still be able to talk.
And Heinlein, are you doing anything pulling the sword and shield out?
Hearing them say, and I point my sword at him, and I say, I think you have a decision to make right now. Do you have fealty to your lord, or would you be willing to betray him?
Let me double check something here. Mila, give me a persuasion check. Heinlein, you can give me an intimidation. I don't think you're directly helping Mila by saying
No, I'm not.
what you said.
I think we're at a difference on what we're saying.
Like it's looking at you, Heinlein, and staring you down, and then it hears Mila's words. Are you saying Ravison lied to me?
It does appear that way.
Well, does that mean I don't have to attack people?
That is exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to attack people anymore, and unless you want to, but I cannot guarantee that if you start attacking people, my friends, I point to Heinlein, and I point to Zavros with his bow, that they will not attack you in return.
It looks like this thing is contemplating for a second. You have the link still, so you can
Yes.
tell that he is contemplating. Mila will hear him thinking that he can return to his old life, and the rest of you just see him submerge underwater and begin to descend down into the depths.
Zavrosh, if you
And-
need to kill this thing, I'll back you.
He's just gonna go back home. He's not gonna hurt anybody else.
No, he's
That's
a
not
coward.
his intention.
Can't kill this thing. Damn it! And I just like kick the ice. I'm like fucking kind of storm off from the group for like a good 30 foot, and I'm just
By
like
the ice floe.
cussing in some crazy language, just
Mhm.
like pissed.
Orlin kind of calms his spell-casting hand, kind of just sighs.
I flip my sword back around and I sheath it and I say to the water, "Alright, I didn't catch your name, but I'll let you know. The next time we meet, your life will be forfeit." And then I go back to set the boat down, try to go put the boats back in the water.
Do you know where Ravison is? Could you show us?
His thing
a
is long
general
gone at this
direction.
point.
Yeah.
Just like
It-
talking
yeah,
to the empty water.
So it's so gone at this point. It's so deep underwater now.
It's a good image though. You're like standing out over this ice, like, "Hey, mother."
I can't hear its thoughts anymore, so I think it's a little too far gone.
What was it thinking?
That it wanted to go home. It didn't want to attack people. It was just doing what it was told so it could stay smart and be able to talk.
Well, as long as it won't be a bother anymore.
You think it won't be a bother?
Well, I mean, if it's in his myth book, it stayed hidden for long enough
But it was
That-
found, was he not?
because he started attacking people.
No, he was found and awakened, is what I mean. He's a coward. He's a worm beneath the soil we walk. You think they won't find him once he stops attacking? You think they won't be trying to intimidate him again? You think he won't just bend to their will over petty promises of intelligence? You don't
Well,
know that
then-
they can't make him.
And what you need to
dumb
do is
again.
you need to attack the problem. That is how you get to the solution.
You can't. Yes, what I'm saying is, he is a problem because he is a coward. You can't solve cowardice by attacking the people that they bend themselves to. You stop
I don't think
cowardice
he
at the
necessarily
source.
asked to be awakened. He just liked it once it happened.
Yeah.
So the problem
The power
is
corrupts.
Rafskin. That's who we need to deal with. Because if
Well,
they're
I've already sworn
awakening
my
beings
vengeance
that
to
can
this
do
being.
this, if they can awaken a being like that, just imagine what else they could be doing for the Frostmaiden.
That's none
That's
of my
the bigger
concern.
issue here.
Also, just throwing it out there, they're working for the Frostmaiden. Maybe we can figure out how to get the Aurora to go away. Maybe they got a connection. We threaten them, beat them up a little bit, and then they tell us what's going on with the Aurora to make it stop.
That's gonna go way beyond our capabilities.
Listen, I'm no hero. I'm not here to save the people. I'm not here. I protect one person, and that's it. You understand? You can go ahead and kill this Raskin. It's not really, or was it Ravis? Ravison.
Ravison.
And that's fine. Yeah, he has done nothing to me. Personally, I have no real issue with him. My issue is with his retainer, who is apparently nothing more than a coward. So I will say I have sworn my vengeance against that lowlife.
Ravison did send his lackey after us, so he did do something to you. Just throwing that out there.
We approached it. Did we not come out here hunting it? Yes, we
True.
did.
That is true. True.
But I suppose that took care of this little fishing problem.
Time to tell the town, safe to fish once more.
I'd say we had a knucklehead trout to bring back, but I look at the water, see fish guts slowly dispersing. It's fine because I didn't want to fish for that guy anyway.
Yes,
What?
I still have the place.
Oh,
Yeah, so we have a soaking wet Goliath, one fillet of fish, and your boats are in the water. They're still tied up. I think you said you pushed the other one back in the water. If not, it's easy enough. Do you plan to keep fishing, or are you just going to head back to shore at this point?
Zavros is mad. He's
I'm
just
gonna
like,
try- Mila's gonna prestidigitation Axel dry again. I think this is gonna. Oh my gosh! There we go. I think this is gonna become a habit. Me drying you off.
I mean, I don't plan on going into very many more lakes unless the plesiosaur wants to show up again. Then I mean, maybe I go back into the lake.
Well, if it shows up again, I kind of have to agree with Hanlin. We're gonna have to kill it.
No skin off my back.
It is gold.
I believe we go back to shore.
Row back to shore? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, rowers, give me one last survival check, please, as you row your way back.
You can row again, Zavros.
Yeah, I'm rowing vigorously. I'm pissed.
Sorry, it's not wisdom. Survival. I'm sorry, it's wisdom.
Oh, wisdom. I'm sorry. I rolled another survival.
yeah,
I think too.
That's my fault. I messed up.
Oh, not one.
Oh,
My only good roll, and it doesn't count.
oh!
If we get a 4 and I'm not one.
Maybe the
Yikes.
plesiosaur will save us.
I'm mad. I'm just
I
like,
mean, it's not a huge deal at this point. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
So let's see.
EPK.
The ram has taken a ton of damage. He's scraped the other side of your boat along. Again, it's not sinking it, but it's not looking pretty either. And as far as the pronged goat goes, you also take a ton of damage. I rolled max damage every time I rolled. So yeah, both of you just kind of actually, instead of scraping the ice floes, you kind of just both bump into each other and start scraping back and forth, just this grinding of wood.
I'm like taking an oar and trying to push their boat away.
Yeah.
Like, get away!
Able to push each other away, but the pronged goat is not looking well. You're not taking on water quite yet, both of you, luckily, but you've taken a lot of wood off the sides. And you make your way back to the docks. And pull up, and waiting for you there is Tolly, the half-elf. Did you find it? Did you get any information on it?
No.
It's intelligent. Can't kill it. And I just keep walking. like I walk up the dock a little ways. I'm still mad.
It's intelligent.
Should not be harming the town anymore.
I think someone's been telling you too many stories. There's just some icebergs out there. As you can see, we've plugged a bunch of the boats into them. There's nothing really to worry about ever again, other than reckless driving.
Mixed stories from me. Was it out there or not?
There's nothing out there. There's no reason to be scaring the fishers.
He's right. There wasn't anything out there.
Roll a deception check straight, because we were having some mixed stories. So
Yeah, that's fair. My only good roll.
She kind of narrows their eyes for us, or they, sorry. That's my bad. They narrow their eyes for a second. Oh,
and I've got like a piercing stare, like directly at her eyes as well. Or at their eyes. God. You screwed me up.
I guess all those fishers are just unaccounted for then.
They abandoned as soon as they hit ice. It happens. Axel over here fell over twice.
You look dry to me.
You have a lot of body heat.
A lot of air drying on the way back.
You are a strange lot. From behind you here, I told you there's no blasted monster in that lake. And you see your friend Grizlocke approaches you. So where's my fish? You get a big haul for me.
We I believe we said
Awesome one fish.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
You only got one? What the hell were you doing out there for so long?
Seeing the sights.
Running into icebergs. Falling overboard.
Last, I can't trust anybody in this. Here, just take your copper, and he'll just shove 5 copper into Axel's hand as he takes the fillets from you, and then rushes over to his boat, starts cursing in Dwarvish as he sees all the damage that's been done to him.
He only asked for his boats back. I think we did it.
I just like the scenery. He's cussing into Dwarvish.
Like 3
It's just
poles.
me getting mad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't notice the poles are gone yet. And where do you guys go from here?
Well, actually, I don't think anybody had a good time in Bremen this trip.
Before that conversation, I have a quick question for Sharp.
Yes.
Did Tally, did they leave right away, or are they still hanging around?
They're still hanging around.
Okay. I'm going to start, because I'm assuming we're starting to walk away from them. But then grab the book. I forget who has it. Her little notebook that she gave to us. They gave to us.
If I notice you staying behind, I'd stay behind with you, because I was kind of thinking the same thing. But that's okay. So I'll if you're looking for the book, I'll come with you.
Yeah, I would be as we're starting to walk away, I'll go, wait, we forgot not Orly.
Orlin.
I need to say your name. Orlin. We should go back and give her journal back. She may have extra notes in there. And make our way back to Tully.
Oh, yeah, she kind of looks up at you. As you can see, they're disheartened, having heard that there is no monster to learn about, and they look at you as you approach.
My friend, there is 100% a monster. Monster may be a strong word, but it can talk. Someone gave it the ability to talk.
It can talk? What? Why did that man say that there wasn't one then?
He wanted, not to scare the town folk from fishing.
He's not from.
It's no longer a threat to this town.
How do you know that? You say it could talk. You talked to it, and it talked back.
Yes.
It was convinced that if that if it did not hunt and kill, it would lose its ability to speak.
That's... So, what? How do you know it's not going to attack anymore then? It seems to have a purpose to have to attack.
Our friend, Mila, let it know that it was lied to.
Do you know anyone by the name of Ravison? I have not been around these parts as often. Is that a name you recognize?
No, I don't know anybody by that name. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Where are you staying around these parts?
Over at the Buried Treasures.
Right. I'll fill out this notebook of yours and get it back to you when I can.
Oh, that'd be great. I have some things I can give you as payment for doing this. So, I have them back at the inn. I'll give them to you when you bring my book.
Sure thing.
Thank you again. And they'll take your hand in both their hands and shake it, both of you, and then head back towards the Buried Treasures.
Quick question. Were we heading back to the tavern or the inn?
I don't know if anybody had a plan on where they're going. Zavras
Yeah.
just kind of stormed off.
Zavras stormed off.
I'm just like at the end of the dock down there, just like mumbling to himself, pissed off.
Okay, because I would have followed afterwards. I think I would have followed afterwards, and I assume, I don't know, would Mila also be following with, or would she have stayed behind?
If Orlin and Axel kind of stayed behind, she would kind of be like in the middle of the two groups, like.
Okay. Zavros, that was your name?
Yes. Heinlein, was it?
Heinlein, yes. Yep, that was my name. No, I understand. I was a little disappointed as well. You seem like you like to hunt. Like you like to fight off some of the more aggressive creatures in the area.
You can say that.
I think we may be a breed alike, as they say. Maybe it's just a foreigner thing, and this world up here is more about talking or something. But after I'm done with I just have one job I'm looking for, and that's I have a man I'm trying to kill. I've been paid to kill. And once I'm done with that, I mean, if there's more monsters or more things to go up against, I'd be willing to try and give assistance. I don't really have much else up here. I've got a place in Brynchander, but beyond that, I'm really just going around, you know?
Oh, well, I guess I could use some assistance with my hunting. I have to do this damn thing. Killing this person, I don't really know what's going on with that, but if they're bad, I mean, maybe?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying you have to kill this person either. It's something I'm supposed to be doing. Supposedly he's a murderer. Either way, you know, sounds like someone who's strong to go up against. I think that's exactly what I'm looking for, so.
Well, I'm very much... What's the word they say? I'm pissed off. Yes, that is the word I'm looking for. I need a drink.
Right, well... And I look back to the rest of the crew as they're doing their thing, talking, and there's Mila in the middle. Maybe we should head back to the... What was the Moose's...
Grumpy Moose was the one you were
Grumpy
in.
Moose. Head back to the Grumpy Moose. finish a few drinks for the night. And then, I don't know what your guys' plan was for travel, so... After this.
I have my trusty, Axebeak here. His name is Choco.
I meant, I didn't know when you were leaving town.
I guess whenever the caravan's ready to go. I'm not really sure how long this job was supposed to be.
That's fair. Well, I'm all for, you know, we have no idea. I suppose we should just see what the others were going to do for travel as well then. Because I do need to get to, I think East Haven's the farthest one I need to look for, and still need to look around to even find these people. Alright. First round's on me. And then I start heading towards the Grumpy Moose.
Right, as the newly formed party starts making their way towards the Grumpy Moose, that is where we close out our first session of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I know I built it up to be spooky, but this is session 1. We have a way to go. We can't just start off strong, okay? We got a little bit of a scare with the plesiosaur, and they averted it without combat, which still goes to be rewarded. You are all level 2 for the next session.
Hey, you don't always have to kill things. I learned
I would
that
have chopped that
from
thing's
Wayne.
fucking head off.
So yeah, we'll be level 2. Unless there's something crazy, we'll talk in between. We'll probably just start in the morning next time. So yeah, thank you all for joining us so much. Or what? Thank you all so much for joining us. Let's do a couple little wrap up things again. All the social medias, YouTube, Twitter, Discord, Patreon, Instagram. Patreon, you can get all of the audio formats as well. We have things coming up soon. Things are coming soon to the Patreon, so if you want to help support the channel, you can do that there. Swindler's Den on everything. Amoris is on Mondays, our homebrew show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to be doing a talkback for the Dragon of Icefire Peak soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and more shows to come soon as well. Grizz, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, do you reroll ones on HP for levels?
Yes, for levels, if you roll a 1, re-roll it. That's fine.
A 2, yay.
As far as everybody here, be sure to go follow them on all their various social medias. Twitter, I believe we have. Do you go Bumbleskum on Twitter or Slimebasher?
Bumbleskum on Twitter.
And at Bumbleskum or at IDL_RPG for the Interdimensional Library, another show that does these kind of things. We're actually doing a Fate game on that channel right now. Saturdays, as much as we can schedule them. Over there at
8 p.m. Central.
8 p.m. Central, so 9 p.m. Eastern.
It's a murder mystery, a treasure hunt, and it takes place in Texas, and there's supernatural powers.
Yeehaw! Yeah, I'm a player in that, and Bumble runs that game. We have Dr. Phage is Little Growth over on Twitter, at Little Growth. Dyto is at DytoDnD, correct, on Twitter. Grizz doesn't have a Twitter, so just follow all the Swindler's Den things. Also his Twitch and YouTube's. Grizlocke, I believe, is the names you go by there as well. TommieTaco with a 4 instead of an A in taco, correct, for your Twitter?
Yes. Sadly, TommieTaco was taken.
I understand it because I also have at Zombie Baka instead of BakaZombie. So sure to follow everybody. Keep up with their fun things they do. All great people, all great players. You guys did so good tonight. Thank you all so much. And we'll see you guys next time.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.